And we're back. See if that's any better for anybody. Hopefully, you guys find me again. It looks better here. It does genuinely look better for me on the screen, so here's hoping. Not that I'm going to be able to remember what I was talking about. Not that I can concentrate with that noise. How in the fuck that's legal, I cannot fathom. How the fuck it's legal for that kid to just ride that dirt bike up and down my street all fucking day, every fucking day. That's me cussing within the first 30 seconds or whatever, probably. Sorry, well, as if we were gonna show this to anyone anyway, right? That is what I would say. That the audience is out there. I know y'all are out there. I know I'm not the only one who sees things, in a similar way or is interested in similar topics. Hey, what up, kitty cat? No, I did. I had like a 20% sub rate on that video last week that went nowhere. So that's cool, right? What up, Mecca? Awesome sauce. This is great. So, I know I'm not just toiling in the dark. I know I'm not. His numbers don't lie. And like my blog posts, sometimes I would get. The reason that I came back to all of this in the first place is because I actually started the blog in like 2014 or 13, like before all the trans stuff hit. It is a beautiful day out here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy, my flowers and everything. My happy place to talk about scary stuff. I just came up with that yesterday, and it's so perfect. That's exactly what it is. That's why I would come out here to do this and do the videos. So I love to do it out here. Makes me feel braver. But anyway, the cats are always here. So yeah, even I came back to all this in the first place because I went back to revisit the blog after I got married and I moved, and then all this crazy shit went down, and I'm like, you know what? I have a spot to air my voice if I want to. I have that blog that I started that I never use for anything anymore, and I went back and looked at the metrics, and like the damn thing was still alive. It was holding on, by the skin of its teeth, but it was still alive. It was still getting like 25 views a day. I'm like, what? What? That's pretty good for something you haven't touched in 2 years, right? So I went back to the writing, and here we are. The rest is history. I mean, I started making the videos from the blog topics because I don't know. I was frankly like there were several blog posts that I made in response to something I saw on YouTube, and I'm like, I could just cut to the chase on this one and just get on camera, I guess, and it's probably a better way to get myself out there and actually be heard by anybody, which again is the goal here, I mean, I hate, but I have that rock and roll instinct of like, sell out, what? You're actually courting popularity? You're actually trying to get people's attention on purpose? How horrible, right? In media, imagine. But so, I've done a whole lot of nonfiction writing, and I think that some of my favorite rock songs are the artists joking about that. Smells like Teen Spirit. Right. Yeah. Is that what that song's about? That makes sense. You just solved a long-standing mystery of mine. Not so burning, obviously, that I was gonna go look that up because I probably could at this point. But yeah, I've probably been wondering what that song is about since the first time I heard it, because it's definitely got, a rock star by Nickelback. Yeah, no, that's definitely my favorite song of theirs by a wide margin because that song is funny. If the rest of their shit was that funny, they might really have something. Which, like, How cool would that be? Like a hard rock comedy band, like a hard like not like they're making fun of hard rock, but like they use it to do like I don't know. Maybe there are bands out there like that, like that. I can't listen to metal because my ears because I don't think that I perceive it the same way that like people who are fans of it as music do because it doesn't sound like music to me. And I'm not even saying that to be snotty, like legitimately. And like I've known metal guys who like can shred, right? And like they practice, they are on point with their skills. Okay. I don't even say anything against them, but like the music that they make, I'm just like, oh my god, turn it off. Like I can't. Which, how you have like that classical mindset of I must practice every day and be exactly precisely on point and da, 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 da. How you have that classical mindset and then turn around and create the most distorted wall of noise I've ever heard. That's fascinating, frankly. That's a weird one to me. I don't get it. I just wanted to say I've known a lot of musicians. System of a Down has songs that have satirical gallows humor. Yeah. That's true. That's true. And I like them better than a lot of other bands in that genre. He has a really great voice, though. That helps a lot. He sings, really sings, right? My mother is the same. Some of the music I listen to, folks, are amazing. I can pick out a tune from all the distortion. Right. And like, I also love garage rock, though. Okay. So like, I do understand that. Like I say, it's a perception thing. It is. And I think rap was the genre that really taught me that because I can't hear the words half the time, or I couldn't, especially as a younger person. I would hear the voice and the music and all that, and like I would not catch the words. Okay, I was not like I didn't know what the fuck the rap song was about because I couldn't understand them, and it's like, ew, I don't understand. Like I literally was standing there trying. I love Surge, that Armenian melody to his vocals. Yeah, yeah. He has an amazing voice. That's his name. Okay, yeah. Um, and like some of my favorite songs are screamers, but like oh bondage up yours. Who doesn't love that one? But like it's not on my daily playlist, you know what I'm saying? Like and I found the last few years I've actually had to take out everything from my daily playlist, which I do have because like I say, I've known so many musicians. I spent the first half of my life, I think, basically just absolutely immersed in like popular music. So my head is a giant jukebox that will randomly kick up stuff. It thinks things people say are song cues, and that's less than great when you're trying to concentrate on anything ever. They have more funny songs in their album tracks than their singles. Oh yeah, no, that's true. That's true. That's true. I remember being surprised by that when somebody put on one of their albums and how they were just kind of goofy at one point. I do not remember what album that was. Please do not ask me because that was 20 plus years ago. But I definitely remember those vocals. Courtney Love is also hilarious, but don't know if she means to be. Right. So that's not. She sort of satires herself. I will not regale you with my extensive Nickelback fandom. Oh no! Oh no! Don't do that because that would be fighting words. You and I are not allowed to be friends if you're a fan of Nickelback. That's the school of thought that I come from. Okay. Oh no, they're hacks. Oh no. I think Courtney Love definitely means to be hilarious. I want to believe that. I really do. I really want to believe that. And then she does something self-destructive that isn't funny, and I'm like, oh, honey, oh God. I think Courtney Love takes her talent seriously, but not her persona. Okay, well, yeah, and that's probably the healthiest way to approach that. But like, I think sometimes, honestly, I think Girlfriend just struggles with some stuff. Sometimes, like, no judgment. She just does it, with a bunch of cameras in front of her. How many times in my life have I been so glad that there was not a camera on me at that moment, right? I mean, we've all been there. I grew up in the Riot Girl era, so either way, I will always love her. She's actually incredible live. Well, that's good. That's good. That, to me, again, coming from my, understanding of the rock and roll, that's where the meat and potatoes is at the live show. If your live show is good, then you know what you're doing. Yeah, she struggles with things, but I don't think she's the kind of person who totally lacks self-awareness. She knows she's a mess. Right. But so, I don't know. It's just one of those funny things because you feel like you know her, but like I don't know her. You know, I feel like I've known her my whole life, and I have never met her. Parasocial relationships are so fun. And yeah, the Riot Girl thing is pretty much a big part of why Nickelback. It's related. It's related to that. I speak, of course, based on the way she comes across. Right? Yeah. I'm not saying you know you. Right, but we all feel like we know her, right? In a lot of ways, and it's just so weird. It's just so weird how that is. And we all have feelings and opinions about her and her life, and this is that's so weird. So weird. Um, what up, Joan? Long time no see. How you doing? How are things? How's your Wednesday going? It's a bit later there, right? You're in the UK, aren't you? Um, I don't think it's weird to feel like you know a person who you've seen so much of and who has shared so much deeply personal stuff to an extent, to more extent than my neighbors. I know her. Yeah. Well, that's part of the weirdness of it, in that you can know someone to that depth, having never met them. When I say weird, I don't necessarily mean in a bad way. I do think she got a raw deal being known as Kurt's evil, spiteful wife. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh. I've literally run into people who think she's an evil witch who killed him. I really believe that. Who genuinely believe. And I'm always like, whoa, okay. I don't know what happened, but I feel like that's not it. Yeah, I've met people, plural, in more than one spot throughout my life, who honestly believe that and do not hesitate to say so. Which is fucking bonkers. I think it can be true you don't know someone in the way you know a person you've met personally. And also true that you know real things about a person. Right. Based on the way you reveal real things in art. Right. No, and I agree with you. And I just think that on both ends, is a very interesting modern thing we've got going on. Because you can really get to know someone surrounding their art, not just through it. The whole Courtney killed Kurt thing only makes sense if you believe a mother of a toddler would widow herself on purpose. I had not thought of it that way. But just the way that it's always rolled in with her being an evil witch, okay? I'm not even kidding. I am not even kidding. It's never because she did it because the story I've read online is that she stole his music. She killed him for his music, right? That's not what I've encountered in real life. What people in the real world I've encountered believe is that she did it for evil magic. I don't know. Of course men believe this. From a perspective of her being a woman and a mother, it doesn't even make kind of sense. Right, yeah. I'm pretty good. Heart-shaped box is literally about how she inspired his art. Nice. No. It's hard for me not to look at them and sort of like be reminded of Scott and Zelda, right? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Uh, but so I just have never, ever seen any evidence because it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I hadn't even got to thinking it deeply through on from her perspective like that. But yeah, that's a good point. And their girl had to grow up without her father, which is sad. This man is sitting around writing about how she inspires his art, and people are like, actually, she stole from him. Right, right, right. You know, she inspired his art by being an evil succubus. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I guess maybe that's why I just instinctively kind of like pulled back from that sort of situation a long time ago, back when it was still, if you'll forgive me, culturally relevant, like in a big way, because there is no way I'm gonna get the straight story that like there's no way they're not gonna paint her as the bad guy, and like I'm not interested in that. And it's just so tragic. The whole damn thing is just so tragic. That sure was spoken, but I recognize your username. Did you make vids? Yeah. We were just talking about that actually. That she hasn't for a while, but she might be getting back into it. Which would be awesome. And I know, Joan, I know you do. I have your latest one on my list to watch it, and I have not got to it yet. I'm sorry. I'm actually terrible about watching other people's videos sometimes because, like, if I'm either looking for shit to respond to for, content for myself, or I'm just trying to relax. I love a conspiracy, but if they don't make any sense, I'm not entertaining it. Right. Yeah, actually, and yeah, I stopped after my dad died, and I just didn't have the energy to field criticism, but I'm seriously considering getting back into it. Which, personally, I'm in favor of. We need more of us out there. We really, really do. We need to be louder, and I understand how hard it is. Gosh, do I. Like I say, I torpedoed my own freelance writing career this way before I even realized what I was doing. So, all right. Excuse me. But, on the other hand, at this point, I'm in it, right? That was what I ended up figuring. That's what I ended up deciding. It's like, okay, well, I am branded as a TERF because I don't think men can be women, or vice versa. Pretty stuck on that point, unfortunately, and I'm already out. I've already outed myself because I didn't realize it was a thing that needed to be guarded over when I did it. You know what I'm saying? So fuck it. Let's just swing for the fences then, huh? Let's just turf it up. Huh? I'm gonna be convicted of it. I might as well be guilty of it, right? So, they could have just had me as a boring little freelance writer off in the corner, busy with whatever bullshit I had been assigned that week. Oops. But yeah, no, instead, I've ended up over here cooking up something that's like actually kind of big, and, bringing feminism back into the real world is not just a slogan for me, and I am going to try and do it through historic fiction, which I understand is like circuitous. But, anyone who wants more details on that, I've been trying to go over it the last few weeks. Partly as I'm solidifying it in my own mind, and also partly because I just can't help but have this stuff come up in the videos sometimes. This week we mentioned objectivism and Ayn Rand, who, as I was saying earlier, I do consider her something of a, like, not an idol. What's the opposite of that? Like someone who you look up to and hope to emulate and not be like them. Does that make any sense? I've got some weird buffering issues. Oh no! Oh, this is driving me crazy. Because we were having that earlier. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna have to fix this for next week. I have an idea, but I can't. It involves cleaning my room. So I'll reload it and see how I go. Okay, cool. Yeah, because and it's so frustrating because I was saying this earlier. I had like almost like a 20% subscription rate on this video that I promoted, right? Because I had to promote to get around the YouTube bullshit, and even that didn't really work because the damn thing only got shown to like 300 people. That was like money down a black hole. But we got like 70 subs off that, which is amazing. So but so there are various examples of how fiction ends up informing cultural philosophy in this really interesting way. And my theory for how that works is that when you're reading fiction, it's kind of like watching TV, in that you're just kind of taking it in and you're not necessarily critiquing the subtext and the themes, right? You're just kind of trying to enjoy the story. But so then, you leave yourself open to absorbing all kinds of ideas unconsciously from whatever it is you're reading, and your attention is very rapt because it has to be, because it's fiction. You're creating this world in your mind. Why should only bad people get to take advantage of that? Why should only, cutthroat individualists get to take advantage of that? I don't think that's right. I'm not necessarily a cutthroat collectivist myself either. Personally, I think we should have a balance there, and that's one of the many themes that I'm baking into the novel. Okay. And I was saying this earlier. So like once you really clear, once you see that target, once you see the level of impact that's actually possible with this kind of thing, to not shoot for it is almost dereliction of duty, right? Like you see what can be achieved with this kind of thing, and just the fact that I can see the target means that I got to shoot for it, right? In that circumstance, and I use Ignatius Donnelly as like a cautionary tale because he wrote that book, The Antediluvian World, which is where we get the idea of hyperdiffusion of some ancient civilization's technology. Atlantis, taught the Egyptians, all that shit. That was a fiction. That's fiction. That's historical fiction. That was written by a guy called Ignatius Donnelly, who clearly was not careful enough about his symbolism and did not quite understand the level of importance that book would go on to have, right? Because most people don't know who the fuck he is. But Graham Hancock has built his career on that idea. Thanks. It was like a year and a half now. But I was just really numb for a bit there. Longest I've gone in my life, not writing, creating, painting, or anything. I felt hollowed out. Yeah, right. Grieving is something else. For sure. I'm just so glad that you're, recovering a little bit. It sounds like you're starting to get moving again a little bit. So that's wonderful. But yeah, so the YouTube is really just the most direct sort of public facing aspect of what it is that I'm working on. So when I say that I'm trying to gather people to bring feminism back into the real world, I have a whole big scheme. When I say that, I have this whole idea, this whole thing I'm working on that everyone, we can all be a part of together, which I like to think is kind of cool, right? So it's not just a slogan, is what I'm saying. And we're about to have an ad. So thank you for sitting through the ad. Oh my God. Mostly just film criticism and meta-analysis on Tumblr, but it's words out of my brain, and I started journaling a little. I might be a living person again. Right. And that's what I'm talking about. That feeling is so important. One might say vital. Right. It's getting hot under here. Hang on a second. See if I can't get a breeze through here. I'm a little more light too. Good to hear you're getting back to creating. Exactly. That's fantastic. And even if you only do it for yourself, you know, no pressure to create videos, obviously, for the internet. Oh my gosh. I would be dead in the water without my diary. I don't know how people live. Without one, I don't. Oh my gosh. I like what you just said about feminism out in the real world. I'm getting a little aggravated with online. Right. I'm happy to hear you're coming back into yourself. Yeah, right. That's great. Right, but so taking it to the real world, like taking it to the streets is not working, right? The frontal assault thing is not working, right? That was what got me thinking along these lines, I think, in the first place. And what got me thinking, beyond YouTube, beyond blogging, how do you actually impact culture on a broader scale? How do you do that? What's the most effective way to do that? And strangely, historical fiction is the conclusion I reached in answer to that question. So, lucky for me, I'm a writer. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a writer, but again, I can give you examples of this having been done to various levels of, efficacy, both purposefully and not. I used to have a big following on social media, but went through burnout and deleted myself from online. Still haven't been able to come back like I was before. Ooh. So I'm sorry to hear that. It does. It's brutal, though. It will chew you up if you let it. I don't do Twitter X. I haven't done it since it was Twitter. Since 2 years, a year, or something like that. Since before Elon bought it, I've been gone from that shit for exactly that reason. Who were you? I wonder if I followed. I have big dreams for the real world. Yeah, I know you do. I've seen some of your stuff, and we think along similar lines, I think, in that way. Do you have plans? I don't know if you've detailed a lot of that stuff in your videos. I need to go watch some more of your videos. All women cabaret stuff, but I can't advertise it without trans blowback. That is really annoying and strange. Really? You can't put women in sequins up on stage singing without trans blowback? That is what cabaret is, right? That's strange. Not burlesque. Cabaret, right? Singing and dancing in sequins, right? That's what comes to mind for me. Am I off base on that? It's hard to talk about anything without trans blowback. Yeah, right, yeah. And I done some clown protests for climate stuff. Wonder how to make it feminist. I don't see a difference there. I mean, how to make it overtly feminist. But to me, ecology and feminism are kind of two halves of the same. I mean, how you do one without the other, I don't know. But but nature's female, right? I mean, come on. I made a video about the Depp Heard fiasco, and I had tears warning in my comments for saying it's because Amber is a tiny woman that it's obvious what the outcome of a fight is between them. There's a lot going on there. But I found a turf in my city theater. Oh, good. That's good. Not Twitter, but on Facebook. Catstone. I think my account is still there. Oh, okay. Man, Facebook chased me away very early on. I had started, trying to plug my blog on Facebook, and they crushed my page so fast. I went from having 120 views a day to 5 overnight. on Facebook, and I was like, okay, message received. Fuck you too, you know. I was mostly on Tumblr. Really mentioning being physically female has an impact. We'll have people go, wow, not all women are female. Oh. Well, again, not where I live. Fortunately, we live on the edge of nowhere, so there are a lot fewer people out here to say dumb shit like that. There's a lot fewer people out here in general, I think. But it's been years, left, right at the beginning of COVID. Okay. Yeah, so I just have been off Facebook actually for most of the last decade. Now I think about it, holy shit, how did that happen? Because yeah, they did. They nerfed my little blog page, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck you too. And I really just haven't spent a whole lot of time on Facebook in a very long time. So I'm unfamiliar with you, actually, I think. I did Twitter for a while, but clown protests. We dressed as politicians and pretend to be counter protesters to actual protests. I think lots of overtime feminist topics concerned by aren't street theater friendly. Yeah, that's true. Mm. But so, like I say, it's the kind of thing where a frontal assault just doesn't work for various reasons. That's one of them. Um, Another one being that, you know, we're all kind of self-sabotaging, aren't we? So a group of women working together for our own interests is like a walking ball of psychological trauma. Like, you know, I had multiple backup accounts, so I'd just switch. My account would get shut down every other week. Would just pop up with the same account. Yeah. Like, again, it wasn't even that they shut me down, it's they like to shadow ban me. That's always their favorite thing to do for me because I don't come out to saying overtly offensive stuff to get attention, so they can't just. Not that that's what you did. Not that that's what you did. The stuff that they think is overtly offensive for attention is so benign these days, right? That's just kind of how I've always thought of it. You know, I do kind of take my own spin on things, which is harder for people to just reject out of hand, I think. Shut down. Autocorrect loves the word shit, which is so weird. Please self-sabotage. I am awful for it. Right. We all are. We are all the problem. And I've said this. It's that internalized misogyny, okay? So what we're doing is fighting against our own worldview. And we don't like to talk about that. Because we're all products of this world. So we all, on some level, believe that too. Right? And I said this before that if until we can address that on any kind of group scale, I don't know how you do that. Some kind of cyclist, you know, like some kind of support group that meets on a weekly basis is like literally the only thing I can think of. Like, you know, internalized misogynists anonymous, right? Like, I don't know. That we all have that shit to work through, and it is layered. So, yeah. And having a group of women get together to work against the worldview they each unconsciously hold without addressing that, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. And then all it does is prove it's like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy over and over and over. And like, oh, just, you know, it's not, that's not it. We can't start there like everyone else does. So, you know, I'm going deeper. I'm going symbolic. Okay. I am. I'm going unconscious with it. Right. We're going storytelling. That's the level we're going. Okay. We're going modern myth making. We're going archetypes. That's where we're going. Okay. Because I think that's the level where this shit lives. The frontal assault's not working. for various reasons. One of it is we're all lamed, aren't we? And I'm going to have to go in a minute because it's almost 2 o'clock. Thank you guys for sitting through all the buffering and everything, all that nonsense. I'm going to see if I can't trigger a couple of things and get that sorted by next week. Was the question mark meant to be in there? And that's actually a nice ring to it. Internalized misogynist anonymous. Yeah, right. It's the kind of thing we would all have to do. Happy to hang tough and like your videos. Thank you, thank you. You know, and I you are another person who's been in this fight for a while and has a different perspective than me. You know, I feel like we have some things in common, so that's awesome. Thank you. Oracles. I went to combine Poor Things and Pandora's Box. Persephone and Demeter, mother, daughter. Yeah. Ooh. Is this something you're writing? I like it. Like, again, I reference myth making, but like I'm not actually referencing any classic myths. I mean, I don't know. We might touch on some thematically. That might be a powerful way of like sort of shorthand trigger some ideas. But not overly. You know, it's not any sort of a retelling of anything. But that's cool. The whole the mother daughter generational thing does not get explored enough. Boy, there is something that, you know, talk about a deep vein. Woo. But so yeah, is that something you're writing or? Yeah, mine is Victorian witches. Oh. At this point, I'm 2 years deep into the research. I'm kind of settled on that. Archetypes too tough. Archetypes too though. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the heroine's journey, and I hate it and love it. What is the heroine's journey? I have not been able to adequately find a good answer for myself to that question. You know, in response to the hero's journey, which I have thoughts on, but there is a topic for a whole, like, I can't start that right now because I have to go in a minute. Ooh, what a theme. Yeah, yeah. And that's, you know, inevitably part of it because I have a heroine and she goes on a journey. So, truly though, have you discovered something that I missed? Is there actually like a heroine's journey that, like, you know, is it, in a similar way that there's a hero's journey? I've seen it as internal and healing from trauma. That's literally a journey. That's any journey. What the fuck? That's called a character arc. Which is good and relevant to many of us. Yes, that's good and relevant to everyone. That's what a character you've just described. A character arc. And like, okay, the idea of like taking real life and sort of memorizing it, you know, okay, of taking like, you know, events and weaving them into a narrative like that. Why can't women go out and act instead of being acted upon and react? Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You've literally just described a story arc, okay? If you want to take a real person and pretend that they are a character in a book, right? That's what that would be. That is your basic building block of a character at all. What you've just described as the heroine's journey is the most generic building block of a character at all. So now I'm going to go ahead and I have to reject that too. I'm sorry. Like, there is no that cycle thing. Like, oh God, Campbell, right? Laid out for the hero's journey. And he was a sexist fuck. I have Spin by Rebecca Caprera on my reading list about the Greek retelling of the myth of Arachne. I don't know that one. I don't know most of them, to be fair. I consider that to be fiction, and I don't read a lot of fiction. Much less shallow fiction with characters that don't go anywhere or, act because the story needs them to. Blah, how boring. I heard good things. But so then that's why the retellings, right? Is there's a lot left out. There's a lot to be filled in those old stories. I see it. I do. Leaving the thread in the labyrinth to find her way out. Ah. Right. Nice. Nice. None of the symbolism in those is always amazing, right? So I have had to put a lot of thought, into like connecting the two halves of my project and really, really, because to me it feels like one big thing. Like I say. But I've had to put a lot of thought into really articulating that. And the videos are more the granular aspect of it, and the book is like the larger aspect of it. Xena, Warrior Princess, and Sailor Moon combined to get me hugely into Greek myth and tea as a kid. Okay. Yeah. I don't think you're alone in that. I don't think you're alone in that kind of thing at all. There's definitely a readership out there for that, right? And like I say, I see as a writer how it might be tempting is if you fall in love with a story like that and you're really, compelled by one of those stories to just be like, but what were they thinking though? Oh, I love Greek mythology too. See, a lot of people do, and I'm lukewarm on it myself. I could take it or leave it. It's not really my thing, but it's not my thing. Consequently, I don't know most of them. And it's not what I'm personally doing. But that's the level of symbolism I would like to reach, while at the same time having a grounded feel to the reading experience, in a way that old myths do not. Mean Girls, a lesbian living in ancient Greece. Main Girls, a lesbian living in Greece, and dealing with what happens because of that. Oh, yeah, I don't. Wow, I wouldn't even want to contemplate that. I love myth, and I'm the kind of crazy person that will leave thousands of words about how the Vampire Diaries retells the myth of Endymion and Selene on Tumblr. Okay. The world does need people like you, though. I would love to have you beta read my novel. Oh my god. I have so many notes for a clown Pandora, then all women big parade type Pandora, Eurydice type folk horror, Persephone, and Demeter big theater show. Oh, I draw on it more than I realized. Oh, that's all great stuff. I did the Irish Children of Lear as a hereditary style horror. Ooh. Yes. I love it. Same. I love researching weird folklore stuff. So it's still logical. Hell yeah. Like I say, this is all. Oh, I love it. Y'all some nerds. I love it. And me too. Obviously. So, what that the main girl is the lesbian in Greece? Which one is that? Control his computer, and it does not want to let me. Okay, I don't know. Which book is that? The first thing I ever got into as a kid was Sailor Moon, and I think that story of this human man falling in love with this moon goddess imprinted on me. The love of a man for a goddess is all I want. Oops. Oh, you know, I don't know. This might be a leap, but you might be onto something there because if the earth is if nature is female, maybe the love of a man for a goddess is what we all need. Eh, just a little. If they could fall in love with this world, maybe they'd stop destroying it. Just a thought. All I want is this tiny thing, and they keep trying to treat me like immortal slave girl. Yeah, no, obviously the slave girl bit is not on. Godspeed. Hope you find that one day. Maybe he's out there. I don't know. There's enough of them to choose from, I guess. That's been book retelling of Arachne with Arachne being a closeted lesbian. Okay, 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 okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Mm. Uh-oh. My country's worst politicians are debating, and I feel I should listen. Oh, no. I do have to go anyway. It is after 2. I am running over. And I'm just sure there was something I was supposed to go and do today. See you later. Nice to see everyone in the chat. Heck yeah. This is so much fun. Thank y'all so much for hanging with me on a beautiful day. The weather cooperated with us for, today. So that's great. Whew. I'm going to go see what I can cook up for you guys next week. So, yeah. Have a good one, you guys. This is so great. See you next week.